Keep it funky, man.
The goal. Yeah. And
We are live, people.
Thank you. We're going to call the we're going to call the 19th of April meeting to order, and would you please call the roll, Katie?
Yes. Mr. Kinter?
Yes.
Mr.
Can you hear
Kinter?
me?
Hi,
Here.
Pat, we can hear you.
Chris, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I can't hear you.
Ms. Burkett? Here. Mr. Vandenberg? Not here. We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Just as an opening comment, Freedom of Information Act has all been met in accordance with the bylaws. Before we get into the approval of the previous minutes, I don't know if you officially know or not, but Ryan Buck has left the board and he's now a member of the Planning Commission.
yeah.
So we are 4 strong, 3 of which must be present at any particular meeting in order for us to conduct
I
this.
guess Joe's out of town because his truck was down and he had people working on it.
Well, any discussion on approving the minutes from the April 7th meeting as previously passed?
Who uses Jitsi?
Motion.
Second.
Call a roll.
Yep. Mr. Fink?
Yes,
Ms. Burkett?
Yes.
Mr. Kinter?
Yes.
thank you. Katie, I'll turn it over to you for any personal appearances before we go into old business.
We have Mr. Lutz here, just to answer any questions you guys maybe have about elevator or
Alright.
just generally wanted to hang out today. That is all we have for staff. And then we have Mr. Patmar and Mr. Chris Altman, which they are the applicants representing 115 East Arctic.
Thank you very much. And Chris, just so you know, I personally, and Pat, I'm appreciative of the changes that you've incorporated based on Mr. Kinter's observations and recommendations from the last meeting.
Okay,
I got my volume down here. It's all the way up.
Pat cannot hear us for some reason, but we can hear him.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll have to interpret then, I guess.
You want me to do a quick little, would you like me to do a quick little run through of what we did?
Yeah, I will. I do, if you
Okay.
would, please.
Yeah, I mean, so you guys asked us to particularly look at a couple of changes. One, on the street front side, how to lighten up where we are showing the slats and kind of express the stairwell better, which we did. And then on the oceanfront side, you asked us to look at a way that we could sort of incorporate some of that around to the other side, understanding the limitations of what we can do structurally with the building. So that's kind of what we did. We added some of those slats on the window flanking sides. You know, our floor-to-floor heights are pretty tight on this building, so we were a little leery of adding a lot across the head of it, knowing that that's, you know, that ocean side is the money side. That's what everybody wants to see. So I was being conscious of not trying to limit views as much as we could. So we kept that center bay open where the main areas are. And as you mentioned earlier, we've added an elevator. So I do want to put an asterisk with the elevator. We are still studying that with the owner, and it's not a 100% done deal. But I told them I felt like, in complete honesty and openness, I would rather show it to you guys now and how we would incorporate it if we were to do it. So that's what you're seeing if it goes forward. It sounds like it's probably a 90% chance it's going to happen. But I didn't want to come back to you guys after the fact or anything like that. So we tried to incorporate it into the design. It would be a block, CMU shaft construction, and then we were trying to have some fun with the address and trying to incorporate that into it with the colors. So that's really the changes that we made.
That's what it says.
It says 115?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like that.
Motion for accelerated.
Oh, second.
Call a roll. I think we'll move to discussion.
What's that?
We'll just move to discussion. Thank you, Alan.
Oh.
So no discussion?
So the question I have for you, Pat, is that, is that supposed to be 115 up on the elevator shaft, or are you trying to show us the uniqueness of the elevator mechanics on the
That's
top.
Bauhaus, man.
No, it's like stylized. That's the address 115.
I just couldn't tell.
Yeah, I can't,
Obviously,
I can't
Skip
read
and I
that
are
either,
from a
but
different
that's all
area.
right.
It's in relief.
It's in what?
It's in relief.
Ah.
Like you look at the negative
Duh,
space.
okay, thank you.
Oh, I see. If you
Are
look
we-
at the blue, it looks like
Ah,
Yeah, we must have tried too hard.
okay, I thought I had failed the psychological exam for, what do you see? Is there an elephant in this picture, or
Well,
what,
it's lucky
you
that
know?
it doesn't say something else. If you look
I
at
just
the-
won the office bet. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, okay.
I have to tell you, I love this building. I do think it epitomizes Funky Folly, especially with what he started with.
All right,
Yeah,
are there other discussions you wanted to bring up, Chris, for explanations on what changes you made?
No, I mean, unless you guys have particular questions, I mean, I hope it's self-explanatory. Like I said, we brought around some of that material and that effect onto the oceanfront side, which we did not have last time. So that's, after conversations with the structural engineer and what he felt comfortable letting us do and not do, I think that's about as far as I really want to push that side. We just kind of have structural limitations, unfortunately. If it was new construction, I think we could have a lot more fun with it, but he's a little leery on adding a lot of stuff to that side.
Okay, so your ask here actually is that we do a tentative agreement for the elevator addition pending the owner's approval, and then if the owner approves, that you press on with whatever we've agreed to here today.
That sounds correct, yes.
Okay, any other questions, Alan, or comments or anything? Well, then I'm assuming, Katie, that what we do is we'll just move to a vote on the, as proposed in this particular accelerated review extension to include the elevator,
Yep.
with just the provision that he can press on without the elevator should the owner reject that option,
Yep.
or press on with it if the owner accepts.
Got it.
The only question I have is, when does the owner and who does he notify you that it is his intention to add an elevator? Is it something Mr. Lutz needs to go and be involved in his position
Well-
at the city?
It'll just happen or it won't.
Yeah, I mean, we would go through all the normal processes of
Okay.
dealing with the building official and making sure we're meeting code. I'm trying to vet some of that stuff out right now. That's why this came up so late in the game that I told him, I said, we still need to figure some things out, but I wanted it in front of you guys so that you could see it.
So right now,
And like I said, we're still,
Yeah, DRB will approve the elevator, and then if for some structural, whatever reason, that the
Right.
owner decides that we're not going to have an elevator, it is being approved now that you guys will not have to come back to DRB if the elevator is removed for whatever reason.
that sounds correct, yes. That's what I'm asking.
Works for me.
Okay, if there's no further discussion or no other, do you have any other comments you want to make, Chris? Anything necessary from your position before we call a roll?
No, I think that pretty much does it for me.
Perfect. All right, Ms. Burkett,
Yes,
Mr. Kinzer,
Yes.
Mr. Fink.
Yes.
Approved.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate your time.
look forward to seeing
All
it.
right, Katie, have a great time.
Thank you.
Well, we
All
haven't
right.
we haven't passed her approval to go to the
Yeah.
Magnolia Carriage House yet. That's the next item of the.
That's gonna get
Okay to get married.
That's gonna get contentious, so I'm not gonna get into that, so.
All right,
All
thank you,
right,
guys.
thank you, everyone.
Appreciate it, gentlemen.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye now. I assume there are no other commission comments, citizen comments, or anything of that nature?
Move for adjournment.
The next meeting, I assume, will still be May 17th?
Yep.
It's priorly on the
Depending
calendar.
on, if we have an agenda or not.
That's always a pending, if there's an agenda item.
So when do you leave, Katie?
I get married, we're done, right?
Let's go ahead and, so we're adjourned at 6:10.